Well, to be honest, when I first started Instagram, the only person I saw was Prince Charming. He was the only first person I saw doing Instagram videos, and I saw some Kali memes. I was surprised to think that West Indians were interested in West Indian comedy and like a West Indian niche of comedy. It made me realize that, you know, I was always a funny person. I figured Instagram was an outlet to show other people that I was funny too, and it just, I had a great feedback from a lot of people, and I just took it from there, a hobby turning into something that could be like a future, like a dream for me.
Well said.
Well, definitely a hobby that, you know, can turn into a future. And like I said, you know, the comedy is actually on the rise right now, because in the world we live in today, I mean, everyone is looking for something, somewhere to go where they can de-stress. And whether it's a 30-second video or 1-minute video, I mean, when people tune in, you know, you have them basically hooked. They'll watch again and again and again. And that's one of the things I must say, you know, that I've actually done as well. In fact, I've been very fortunate to be in a few of your videos, and you know, the comedy's gone beyond that. It's actually like helped to market events and stuff like that. But now going back in time again, who would you say, apart from yourself, actually, who would you say has been the brainchild in coming up with concepts for skits?
I think everybody had their own idea, so we just all worked it together, and we just, you know, we came up with it, we did a niche of it, so it was just, you know, everybody put their heads together, and we just started creating a thing. So everybody just made their own individual videos.
Yeah, I call them my own thing. So like basically, it could be like things that happen in real life, and I just turn into a skit. As simple as that.
That's exactly. My mom is half of my skits. My parents are half of my skits. It's just real life situations that all West Indians can relate to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, definitely. And you know, I mean, a few of the skits that many people remember you guys by is actually the skits with, I believe it's the Auntie Gita role, actually, you know, and the stories that you basically tie around that. And also there's one particular gentleman who joins with you on a few of the skits as well, you know, the Pandit Bandit, actually. And, you know, I mean, some of the like the things you guys have him do, people talk about that amongst like their friends or whatnot, but you guys really portray it. You put it out in a video, and I think that's why it's much appreciated. All right, so now, just to get an idea, I mean, because it's just like 3 of you guys joining with us here today, but how many people overall would you say really like comes together, or like this group, how many people does it consist of?
Like a lot.
There's a handful.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say more than 15 perhaps. And the funny part, there's more rising every day. I'm seeing more people following me that's doing comedy, doing videos, inspired by us, inspired by the group. It's few entrepreneurs, few pioneers, but dude, it's gonna be something. This is, you know, it's not going anywhere.
And it's not a rivalry at all. Like everybody, like we're all in Messenger or WhatsApp.
I'm just a big fan.
And we all hit up each other like, yo,
rare.
we should collab, we should do something. So it's not like, oh, I'm gonna do my own thing and he will do his own thing.
Yeah.
Like we just came together and I was like, this is awesome. And I love meeting new people.
Yeah, before I used to be like that. Like I never liked any of these guys, but as I met them, like they're good. They're good people. You know? Sorry.
All right, so you know that's really great, and of course, you know, when you talk about people that would message you or hit you guys up and want to be in a video or something, I must say that when the first time I collaborated with you know, I mean, with Sean and with Dan and also with you know, Nick as well. You know, Nick, for those of you, actually, I've got to say I'm very thankful to him, because a lot of the coverage and a lot of the material that we have, like we present on the show, it's actually thanks to you, Nick, that we're able to do so. So okay, now let me come to you, because you know, I mean, you're a photographer, you're a videographer, you know, you meet so many people, and some of the events you go to, people that they'll come right up to you and they'll ask you, hey, aren't you the guy, or aren't you the guy who's actually in those videos? What's the feeling? I mean, anytime you meet people and they just appreciate the work.
I love that feeling. Like, this is what I signed up for, so it's not like I put my head down and be like, oh, machine. Like, I wanted that feeling. And especially like business-wise, like, yeah, I do the comedy skits, but I also take advantage of like, wait, I have all these equipments, let me use it for like other stuff. Like, you know, I gave back to this community as in taking pictures for, you know, all these events. So I'm like, you know, I started branching out and doing more stuff.
Okay, wonderful. Now, the next question actually comes to, anyone can basically take this question. So, like I said, I've listed a few characters such as Auntie Gita and also, you know, Pandit Bandit. Now, for the 3 of you, is there like an assigned role that you guys have to play in every skit, or is it like a fresh character, a fresh skit? What is it?
Well, basically you could play like different characters. So it's based on what type of topic that you're covering. So like if I want to be a gal, I dress up like a gal. I'm not dressed up like a gal, but just like wear like a shirt on my head. If I want to be the Patricia one, which a lot of people like, they like Patricia character. Or if I want to be my if I want to be my dad, then dress up as my dad and like make my voice a little bit more deeper. While playing my mom, just like dress up like a gal, not dress up like a gal, but just like wear like the Charlemagne and like squeaky voice.
Yeah, I like dress up like you.
Not like dress up like a gal, man. Talk about.
So what would you say is the element or the recipe for your success?
You gotta just find something that's relatable that everyone can relate to, basically. I mean, like everyone can relate that Khalid mom sometimes they just overdo it, and just like it's just relatable. People click to that. Like when you see something like, oh, like that's so true. Like my mom does that. Like oh, that's so true. Like my dad does that. Like that's what really makes it click.
And I'm so proud of that because it's like it goes from a different like they like your video and it blows up and it goes from comedy to when people just hit you up and be like, hey, I want you to do a skit over here. And then it turns into promotion,
Right.
and it just gets more bigger, and it's like, whoa, this thing is going pretty big, pretty far.
2 months ago, I was actually privileged. Most of the time, I'm actually given the honor of like hosting a show, but I was privileged on one night to sit down and really watch you guys work. And you guys basically like with all the props and everything, you guys pulled everything like on the set. You had your skits going. Now, how much preparation was required for you guys to do an on-stage live performance for that night?
Ooh.
I think in the acting world in general, when it's like live performances, prepare for no preparation. Because no matter how much we prepare, when it comes to showtime, it seems like everything is just out of whack. Especially when it comes to a West Indian show, they tell you you're going on 10, you're going on like to 11:30.
Right.
So we just prepare for anything and we just roll with the punches. And we're so good on our feet when it comes to comedy that no matter where we are, we're just always funny. So we just always bring our A game.
Now, here's a question. I mean, a lot of the things that I've noticed, some of the comedy, it's actually linked to, West Indian culture, West Indian life. Are any of you, born from like any part of the Caribbean, or most of you born here in New York? I mean, let's get an idea on that.
I was born in the Bronx.
That's the funny part. I'm born in Jamaica Hospital too, but living in a West Indian household is. You get, you know what I mean? You understand
like
the West
living in
Indian.
Guyana.
I think that's what makes it our comedy different also, is that we have a third world perspective. We're Americans looking into the world of Guyanese, so we know what's funny because to the outside world, we're third world people, but to us, that's first world hilarity. Like that's what people want. People crave the kind of comedy because they miss back home.
Yeah.
In fact, Dan, you've actually like said something that I say at a lot of events, actually, on political events when we address the West Indian community, that to the Western world, actually, there's a minority. Actually, the American society sees they have their definition of minority, and we're a greater part of that minority because not many people know much about us. But as we continue to expose ourselves in terms of talent, like such as dancing and also singing as well. For those of you who are familiar, actually, with the American Idol sensation singer, she represented the West Indian community.
Alyssa Rago, yes.
Yes, Alyssa Rago.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, and also those who have like ventured into boxing as well. So many different types of sports as well. So, and as you mentioned that when people look at you guys as like a three-dimension group, and you have the best of both worlds, where you link some of the American culture with your West Indian comedy. I've seen a few skits where you did like a West Indian version of like wrestling WWE, and you had like the shower. I think it's shower killer.
Yeah, you like it.
Yeah, definitely. And then there was also, I believe, Terry Springer or something like that too as well. So so it's good. It's much appreciated, and it's so good to see you fuse both worlds together in one, in like maybe a 60-second video. All right, so now let's come to it. So now, like I mentioned, I mean, on that night, you guys are doing all this preparation, but I believe you guys are prone to this because you've done an event in Florida, I believe, that was sold out along with Prince Charming. Or let's get an idea about it.
Well, that's a different show. So it's more. We did a show in Canada.
Right.
And yeah, in Florida as well. But so far, the last one we were at, it was in Canada, and now we're doing one in New York. So, I mean, we've never done anything in New York. Well, I assist with other shows, but not like actually to be a part of it, to do live skits, like, and so yeah. So I'm kind of. Help me out here.
This one's gonna be this one's gonna be a different show because this is more of a collaboration with the top West Indian comedians and performers of this time at this time period.
Yeah.
We try to get a collaboration of all the biggest that we have because there's not much, and I feel like this show is gonna be huge because this is like the first time it's happening.
Yeah,
actually.
Now-
everybody come together
Because
like a
I know
big
people,
crossover
people
episode.
always want to see live skits. They be like, yo, I wanna see how you guys do your videos.
There's not much
But-
shows like this, yeah.
To actually do it live, to do something, that's pretty amazing.
Yeah, and then my mom's gonna be watching.
Now, Dan, let me come to you because I know that you've been involved in a few of the organizations that's done acting before, such as Nirvana Humanitarian. Where do you basically see, or how do you find this show, apart from it being that live skits and that it's one of your own production? Where do you draw the line in terms of like similarity and differences from previous works and this one?
I think the difference is that, well, after those shows, is mostly the show you're coming for. After our LMRO show, it's actually going to be a meet and greet. So you actually get to interact with the people, take pictures, you get to meet the people that you've only seen on Instagram for the first time. People are coming from Canada, Florida, that you won't get to go those places, they get to come to you. And afterwards, I think, when you see the face on some of these kids, when they see on Idol, I would say, I'm surprised at the amount of love that they have for us, that we're just doing comedy, and to them they feel like we're Britney Spears, like like one of the A-class
You think you're Britney
stars.
Spears?
You know,
Look like she.
I just feel that like this show is gonna bring, I feel it's gonna be the first of many. That's not, and I feel those kids that watch our show may be the next comedians, in the near future. That's gonna outdo us, and I hope so.
Well, if you want to be the next Britney Spears, I mean, you have the character of Patricia right next to you. I'm sure Patricia can help you out with that. But okay, so in just a few moments, I'm going to take a quick break. And what I'm going to do first, before we go to the break, is I want to give you guys the forum. I want to give you the floor right now to first explain to people, I don't know if I can say it, but I'm sure you guys will do better justice to it, about what El Morro is, and actually the New York edition. When is it scheduled to take place? Where is it scheduled to take place? So people can get an idea. We'll come right back and we'll have another brief discussion. But go ahead, right about now, you can let us know.
LMRO is on June 16th at Elevate.
Laugh my
Uh,
I can't sit on. I can't sit on.
No,
TV.
you're gonna be laughing out loud.
Yes.
This is gonna be happening.
Yes.
The show is hosted by Rum Shop Chronicles. You can go to his page at Rum Shop Chronicles on Instagram. He has all the information. There's going to be more flyers in the future.
And you can even go on our pages. We're gonna post it too.
Of course,
Yeah.
we're all, it's always going to be promoting, and you guys are going to see it all over social media, of
Yeah.
course.
Definitely. Well, El Morro, the New York edition, coming to you very soon. And what we are going to do is that just so you can get an idea what to expect from them, plus many others, we are going to present to you some of their previous work, some of their skits, which is, I believe that these are family friendly.
Of course.
Yeah.
It's hard to find a family-friendly one on my
watching your
page.
show. Come on now.
Okay, all right.
No cussing. No cussing.
Well, okay, I noticed that we would have to do a little bit of a censorship right there, but okay,
Yeah,
all right,
especially for
I'll
me.
take your word for it. Family friendly, so here's what we're going to do, everyone. We're going to take a sample
Hey
of-
YouTube fans, I'm Tanuja. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe to watch the latest interviews, ITV's coverage of feature events, and digital exclusives. And don't forget that you can get ITV on Spectrum, Cablevision, and RCN.